Sactown Sports.
We've been struggling all day to find answers to whatever that was that happened to the Kings yesterday. Thanks for being with us, Drive Guys. You know that Kyle Draper is in Detroit today, so Jay filling in and joining us now after it had to be some kind of flight for the Kings. Here is the one and only Kyle Draper. Drapes, how you doing after that embarrassing loss yesterday?
Oh, man, I tell you what, Whitey and Jay, I'm just I'm still hurt.
Yeah.
I'm still emotional.
Uh-huh.
You know, we hopped on that plane, flew to Detroit, went to practice, and I'm still like hurt by it all, man. And I said it on the post-game show. It's just like, these are our guys. These are the guys we cheer for. And to have them lay down like that and not come out with any sort of sense of urgency, you know, it stings, man. It's like having a kid or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband, whatever it may be, and you're just disappointed. And that's what I came away from yesterday, just a feeling of disappointment.
What was the very least you expected from the Kings? We know that it's a tough matchup. Mike Brown said, you got to give him credit, but Mike Brown also said we brought no fight whatsoever. What was the very least you expected from the Kings yesterday, Kyle, that you didn't feel you saw?
Yeah, I expected at least some fight, some passion. You know, I thought if they were going to lose the game, it would be because shots didn't fall. You know, that happens sometimes. But there was no energy from the team and in turn the crowd right from the jump, like right from the get-go. And I know us in the media, we like to hype things up. You know, oh, this is a big game, must win and all this. But you got to feel like at some point the players and coaches felt that way too, in terms of, all right, these guys have kicked our butt. We got to have a good showing. And I go back to disappointment. That's the most disappointing thing. We all knew what that game meant. Sure, it's just one of 82, but it meant so much more. And the Pelicans, give them credit. They came out with a sense of urgency. And, you know, one thing I noticed too when looking at the Pelicans, they're an elite defensive team. And they stick to their defensive principles. And, you know, they may not have the big names, the all-NBA players or anything like that, but they play together, especially defensively as a team, and they follow what the coaches are preaching. You know, I think sometimes, you know, we may have a game plan, but sometimes we'll veer from that game plan defensively, and that's frustrating.
Drapes, I don't mean to jump ahead and just forget about yesterday, but the great part about having someone like yourself on this show, being a part of this show, is you get to be around the team, hence the flight, heading to Detroit, and of course the practices and getting to sit in. What's your thoughts on how the team has bounced back from yesterday?
It's interesting. I think you could sense a sense of, how should I put this, embarrassment, if you will. You know,
sure.
Like, guys aren't walking around with their heads held high. Like, yeah, you know, we the Kings. We, you know, you just don't get if you get that feeling like you know what. You know, I'm king of the analogies and cliches, fellas, and I'm gonna put it to you like this. I feel like our guys are like a puppy dog who just got scolded and they know they did something wrong. And so the heads hang a little low and things like that. I feel like they're embarrassed. Like, they know what we saw last night was not who they want to be and who they are. And so, like you said, GJ, the best thing about the NBA, man, you get to turn it around tomorrow. And we've seen this from time and time again this season with this team. It's like, our hope is that what we saw the other night won't happen again. They'll come out fired up, ready to go. But I don't know. You just never know with this team. And I think that's the frustrating thing for fans.
Drapes, yesterday at halftime, I was talking to your friend Antonio Daniels, and he was saying, he said, and all the time I played here against the Kings, he said, I don't think I ever heard fans booing them, which some of us, we have heard that, but it's been a while. What did you make of that? I know from what Mike Brown said yesterday, you know, when he apologized to those who paid for it, I think you'd have to say that booing was warranted.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel bad for the fans. And some of them, you know, voiced their displeasure to me as they were leaving. You know, Drapes, I don't believe this, you know, and I get it. And I understand that. And, you know, we talk about how this is the best fan base in the league, and they are. And they deserve better than what we saw yesterday. That's for sure. And I'm a firm believer, guys, that fans, you know, you have every right to boo. If your team's not getting it done, let them know. Because, you know, we know as well as everybody, these tickets aren't cheap. especially it's family day. So you got the kids out there, you got the husband, wife, family of 4. You're spending several $100s to buy a food and then to lay down like that. And so, no, rightfully so. And I will say this. It's on the players because they didn't give the fans a chance to even engage in this game. Like we got down right from the jump.
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean, Darren Fox hit the first, 3, but after that, it was all Pelicans.
Yeah.
And so we didn't even go on a nice little 10-0 run, 12-0 run to get back in the game to give our fans any kind of hope. I mean, our fans were sitting there with their hands under their butts because what else could you do? And I said it on the postgame show. I'm walking on the concourse, fellas, and I felt like I was in The Walking Dead. I felt like I was amongst zombies because we were just in shock at what was taking place. And I blame the players and the coaches and the team. That can't happen, man, especially at home. You're going to lose game. And I said it too. If you get blown out by the Celtics, Bucks, Minnesota's great this year, but the Pelicans, a team that kicked your butt 3 times already, man, that shows a lack of pride, a lack of fight, and that's not what we want our team to be.
Drapes, it's funny because I think a lot of what you feel is kind of what I feel. And I think Whitey, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm speaking out of turn here. And I believe what a lot of the Kings fans and onlookers saw yesterday, and to kind of use what you say, an analogy, one of the things when my daughter gets in trouble is she always asks me, Dad, are you disappointed in me? Compared to, am I just getting in trouble? Like, did I hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
And I think part of yesterday's game more than ever, like Charlotte for me was kind of one of them things like, damn, like that's how y'all feel. Y'all gonna go out there and do that to me. Like, and I think yesterday was kind of the ultimate, like, man, you hurt my feelings type of situation. Is that kind of like what you were seeing from some of the fans yesterday? Cause I know you like to hobnob and rub elbows.
I do. I like to kiss the babies and take the photos and
as
everything.
You're supposed
to. Yes, 100%, Jay. And I'm doing the post-game show, and I said it, man. And there's a clip out there on social media. I said, I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. Like, I was going through all the stages of grief right there yesterday because it did feel personal. I mean, how many times are we going to let a team kick our butt, And so I felt for the guys. I felt for the coaches, the players, because, we don't want this reputation as soft. And that's what we looked like yesterday.
Yeah.
And we look soft. Like the Pelicans, give them a ton of credit. Like they play with an edge, especially like they saved their best for us. I mean, Herb Jones is fantastic. I tell you, that's who we need. Anyway, I give up 2 first-round picks for Herb Jones right now. We need a Herb Jones on it because that dude is long, athletic, can defend. He plays with an edge defensively. And so it's like, man, they just embarrassed us in front of our own building. And I was talking to somebody here at practice earlier. I said, we gotta wear this until next game. Like we gotta feel this pain and this hurt until we take the floor next game.
Yeah. Here's where I am with the Drapes. We've seen it before. And I think it was a week ago when we were getting ready for the Charlotte game. And you were saying, and understandably, you were saying, we got to get off this roller coaster. And, we just haven't been able to. We wish we could. To me, it's like, I don't wonder anymore. Initially, when the Kings would play great and they play badly, I would wonder, well, who are they? And now I feel like I've seen it enough to know that, no, that's part of who they really are until they get better defensively. Yeah. And I think Mike Brown talked about that. And to me, it just underscores the need to do something to improve the team defensively. Presumably that's with a deal, but I think
just don't have it in them. And I'm not saying they don't have the ability. I'm saying they don't have the effort and determination. And I was listening to you guys earlier, and we were talking about, what did you say, Jay? We need somebody to bring the ruckus.
Yeah, we need, absolutely.
You know what? I go back 2 years ago. We need Marcus Smart. That's what we need.
Yeah,
agree.
We need, because what happened yesterday, sure, it may happen, but I tell you what, Marcus Smart is throwing something. He's challenging somebody. He's doing something. It ain't going to be sweet when you butt kick if Marcus. So we need somebody that, defensively can set the tone. And when things start to go sideways, we can see the passion, the fight on them. Like, That's what disappointed me about our guys yesterday. They just had a blank stare. You know what it was? They just got their butts kicked and they took it and asked for another one. You know?
May I have another?
Yeah. May I have another? Exactly. They just took it last night, and that's what's so frustrating.
Accepted it, basically.
Yeah.
Drapes, 2 of the next 14 are at home, which is, for me, is very interesting for this Kings, especially right now coming off the 2-2 homestand out of the 4 games.
Crucial stretch.
Yeah, it is. And Whitey said earlier he believes this is where the other Nike drops.
Unless something is done. Yes.
He said this is where the other the Concord Patent Leather 11 drops right here. So I guess what my question to you, Katie, is, do you think, because this is the one thing about it, the Kings did very well on the road last year compared to home. It was like the opposite. It almost felt like they wanted to be on the road compared to the expectations, or, you know, the 1-2 here, being here. And so what do you think being on the road for your next, that'd be 12 out of 14?
Yeah. And it's a tough road too, man. You got the first 2 games, then you got Milwaukee, Philly, and Phoenix. And I think these next 2-3 weeks will make or break this season. I honestly think this stretch is that important. And, you know, talk about the roller coaster, and there's going to be some ups and downs. I understand that. But I'm talking about psychologically with this team. Will the guys stay together? Can we keep this together? Because right now it's hard. Like, imagine we're riding a roller coaster. You got to imagine that they're seeing the same thing. They're seeing, 7 double-digit losses, 7 losses of 17 or more, whatever that number is. Like, they got to be feeling that also. And so I think, a lot of times they say teams bond together on a road, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they have any team building, team bonding activities. I didn't see anything, but they got to come together. And, Mike Brown talked about it after the game. We hear it all the time. Players got to look at themselves in the mirror and can't look to the coaches or the game plan. No. Are you doing the best you can individually to help this team? And that's the point where we are right now. Because I think before the All-Star break, it can make or break this team season.
Great stuff, Drapes. We appreciate it. So you're back with us tomorrow, right? You and I doing a short one tomorrow before the game?
Yeah. Yes.
Don't let them off the hook. Oh, wait. We're not finished. We are finished on this interview. We don't have nowhere to go. Dinner. What time dinner start, Drake?
Dude, it's late out here.
I know it is. It's 7:45.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Man, have you had dinner yet?
No.
Oh, well, then you get that stomach can hold on for another 10 minutes. Let's talk about.
I was going to let you off the hook.
No, ain't no hook letting up. Do you think he would let you off the hook? I just want to hear your take of your boys heading into the playoffs, because honestly,
I wasn't going to do this to you, Drake.
At this point, I'm a big boy, Whitey. I can defend myself. You have to be like, you almost have to be through with the Philadelphia. Again, I heard you say this maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm ready for the season to be done. Is it is it finality now? Like, has all the hope been thrown in?
Not all hope. I mean, but I'm a fan glutton for punishment. I still believe there's a sliver of hope there. This team can turn it around. But am I fooling myself? And I honestly, changes need to be made. Personnel, coaching wise, I don't think player wise too. I think maybe there might be some bad apples in that locker room that when the times get tough, they start chirping and talking and pouting and everything like that. And it's interesting. I don't know if you guys saw that interview with Javon Hargraves. I forget who he did it with. And he talked about the difference between Philly and San Francisco. He likened it to the Niners being more like the Miami Heat. You put in the work, you're grinding, Kyle Shanahan is like Pat Riley. Then he said the Eagles are more like Golden State. Laid back, chill, everything will be all right. Steve Kerr, Nick Sirianni. And I think what you're seeing with Philly is they lost that edge. It's sort of, everything's not sweet. And they just feel like, oh, we can turn it on. And then you go to turn that switch and the light doesn't come on. And so y'all can hammer me. Y'all can hammer me all you want. Niners lost 2 this week. I mean, Niners lost 2.
But it was for nothing though, Drapes. I mean, you were playing. Me and you should have went out and got some snaps for the Niners, man. That's what you riding with, brother. Of all the things, the Niners lost this week too.
Hold up, Jay. Hold up.
Come on, man.
It's funny. Somebody tweeted at me, "Where you been at, Drapes? I ain't heard from you. Crickets." And I ain't got nothing to say. When your team is getting their butt kicked, you just be quiet. You just
take it.
You just take it. I can't defend these guys.
I thought you were going to say that Sam Darnold's game proves that Purdy is a system quarterback. I thought you were going to go there.
Right? No. We already know that.
Drapes, do you? Go ahead, Drake.
Go ahead.
I'm
saying I can bringing up my Pascal Siakam story the other day.
I was going to let you do that.
I'm
going to let you do that.
Nobody ain't saying, Drapes, you were right about that.
No, but there was some too. I mean, they did talk though, right? There were.
Yeah,
talks.
We knew that, but I told you it's not going to happen. I mean, not right now anyway. Now, Toronto may get desperate at the trade deadline, but it just didn't make sense at the time, and so I didn't allow myself writing. Unlike you,
I was all
Jay,
in.
some of the fans,
wasn't me. Yeah. Wasn't me. I said I agree with you. I thought Masai Ujiri and Ujiri and the Raptors were conjuring this up. I'm with you. I don't think the Kings have a shot to get past.
So is here where it is, Drapes? Is it kind of like the Kings said, "We'll give you this"? Toronto said, "No, that ain't enough," and then the Kings said, "Well, let us know if you change your mind." And that's kind of where it is, and they probably are not going to come back to them.
Yeah, I think, it's sort of similar. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Toronto looked at the roster and said, "I want this guy or this guy." And Monty said, nope. All right, talk to you later.
I heard Monk's name. I know you hear a lot. I heard Monk's name might have come up too.
I didn't. I heard that, but I can't. Right. I didn't hear that from anybody. I know.
Right.
We're still a month away from the deadline. Exactly 1 month from today, and so teams aren't desperate yet. Right. The Raptors aren't as desperate just yet. Now, if it's February 5th, and they look and say, "Dang, ain't nobody, biting on this," then maybe they get desperate and sell low.
Right.
But we still got a lot of time and a lot of teams. You look at the Lakers; they're reeling right now. The Warriors. And so, if I'm Toronto, I'm not making that deal right now.
Right.
I want teams to present their best offers, and then I'll make that deal.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I apologize for Jake going after you on the Eagles.
I know.
Apologize for me, Whitey. This ain't no greeting card. The fact of the matter is, he got to take the smoke because the Eagles getting smoked out right now. That's all. It's brisket.
It's ended for me December 3rd, big fella.
Yeah.
Once we lost to the Niners, it was a wrap. It was like, you know what? They ain't real. They not real. They not about this life. They ain't trying to win.
But just to fall off so quick, though, Drapes, like I thought, okay, those were heavyweights and they were swinging. And I thought, it was one heavyweight loss, but you had opportunity to bounce back. Mm-hmm. Let me get a get right fight, so to say, in boxing, and then I'll bounce back and see you in the playoffs. For whatever reason, it's just like Philadelphia has just lost their, as you said, the swagger to believe.
Yeah, I think it's something going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, that the way they're playing right now is just it's like they don't even believe themselves, that they can win. Like they're playing as if they can't wait for the season to get over, And so, as a fan, it's disappointing, man, because I thought they had the talent to get back there, but my hope isn't high. You know what? They might go down to Tampa and get smoked this week, seriously, because I just get the feeling. I mean, you see how bad they look against the Giants? Mm-hmm. Like you said, they still had something to play for. Like Dallas barely squeaked by. Like they still had something to play for, and so. I just think they're ready to get it over with. And I don't know if the coach is going to be there, defensive coordinator. I don't know what needs to happen, but they got some internal issues they got to figure out.
All right. Thanks, Drapes. Rest up. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
That's Kyle Draper from Detroit.
The D?
Yeah. He said the Cowboys just snuck by yesterday. I thought they got.
That's how he stopped watching, because in the first quarter and a half. Yeah, it was the first quarter was tight. Then they went up 14-10, and then they 21-10 by half.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just brisket. It was a smoke out, 24-hour brisket.
Yep.
So you could tell as an Eagle fan, he just stopped watching early.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I would have too. As Michigan takes the lead over Washington, first touchdown opening drive. Donovan Edwards on it looked like about a 40-yard run or so.
Huskies,
but
let's go.
it's That's how you know he had checked out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because he was like, oh, yeah, I just watched the first quarter, second quarter. And then, you know what? Let me go ahead and prep for the Kings real quick.
Squeaked by yesterday. Yeah. When we come back, Mike Brown apologizing to fans. Apology accepted. Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.